It being 5 p.m., the Lafourche Parish Council meeting of November 12th, 2024 is hereby called to order. Ms. Carleen, can you please conduct roll call?
Yes, sir. Mr. Brumfield. Present. Mr. Adams is absent. Mr. Perk.
Here.
Mr. Melvin is running late. Mr. Charles.
Here.
Mr. Charles, certainly enjoyed working with you. This will probably be one of your last meetings. Wish you good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Mr. Arabi.
Here.
Chairman Oten.
Here.
Mrs. Chasson.
Here.
Mr. Lorraine.
Here.
And President Chasson.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carleen. If everyone could please rise, we'll be led by invocation by Councilman Lorraine, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Rodriguez.
Before we say the Lord's Prayer, I want to salute all the veterans, the living veterans, and the deceased veterans, because yesterday was Veterans Day.
Oh, yeah.
And now we shall say, Our Father.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we want to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. First, like to ask you to please silence your phones or turn them off out of respect for others. Also like to remind anyone wishing to address the council, please fill out a blue form at the entryway, get it up to the council clerk. We'll be sure to recognize you. I'll also make a couple of comments. One that on ordinances, we'll ask for public input prior to the council discussion and ultimate vote. On resolutions, it'll simply be a discussion amongst the council members, and then we'll bring it to a vote. With 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences, those absences being Councilman Melvin and Councilman Adams. Item B, stating our federal legislative updates. Do we have any?
All right, Morgan Degrees with GIS Engineering. All right, first today we have Butch Hill Pump Station. We've got no new updates there, still kind of waiting on the parish to give us, path forward on that. Next, we have Valentine Pontoon Bridge. Only new thing there, the parish did meet with DOTD recently. We're still kind of waiting with them. We have gone forward and gotten some of our design exemptions and waivers put together, and going to try to have that on standby once any kind of decision is made. But we are still waiting on that. Next, we have Grand Bayou Freshwater Reintroduction Pump Station. So we did meet with the parish recently and tried to give some more alternatives and some cost on some of our alternatives. And they had let us know that they had a funding issue of around $15 million. We then went ahead and developed 3 value engineering alternatives. We then sent those over to the parish. We're looking to get a meeting here soon to try to go through those and get a path forward on what they'd like to go through. Those are ranging anywhere from $16.9 million to $19.2. They range anywhere from your 1,200 CFS pump station we already had to reducing pumps going down to an 840 CFS pump station. So we look to be meeting with Archie and them soon to kind of figure out what we want to do with that. Next, we have the waste collection facility. No new update there. Still waiting on the parish with any environmental issues and how we want to proceed with that one. Next, we've got the Hurricane Ida pump station rehabilitations. First one is the Ravenswood pump station. So we had gotten with the parish on a preliminary site plan. So we've kind of revisited that and looking to get that redone and revised and sent over to the parish. And then the Company Canal Pump Station, we had also submitted the plans to the parish for review. We had talked with them and then kind of given us the go-ahead to go forward with final design. So we're kind of getting that together and looking to have that to the parish, probably by next meeting, I would say. Next one we've got is the Eunice Alamo Pump Station. No new updates there. Still kind of waiting on the Hamilton Street Bridge to see what's going to happen with that before we can really move forward. So until that happens, we're kind of holding on that one as well. Next one is the Midway Drainage Study and Report. So we went ahead and looked at 3 alternatives initially. 2 of those, we had a water surface elevation drop of around 3 to 6 inches. Then we had talked with the parish. We had developed a 4th alternative. Same thing, we're getting that 3 to 6 inch range. We're looking to be able to finalize this report and have that to y'all by the end of the month, November 29th-ish. So looking to get that to y'all then. Next, we've got the Lockport Elevated Boardwalk. Still no update there. We've submitted the study and report to y'all and just kind of waiting on path forward there. That's it. Any questions?
Anyone have any questions? Doesn't look like it. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thank y'all very much.
Do we have any other engineers and or architect reports? All right. Item G, public wishing to address the council public hearings, agenda items, et cetera. Ms. Carlene?
Ms. Charlene Rodriguez, if you'd come to the podium, Ms. Charlene, state your name and address for the record. Please remember you have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Council on Aging, I gave you all an invite to our groundbreaking ceremony for Lafourche Council on Aging office, which will be held on November the 22nd at 2 o'clock. And the address is 4314 Highway 1, Raceland. Hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Carlene.
Sir.
Now, item H is what we're doing at 6 p.m., so I'll entertain a motion to deviate to item M in the agenda. So moved by Mr. Araby, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Councilman Melvin and Councilman Adams. And once again, we'll return back to the hearing at 6 p.m. So it brings us to item M. Public hearing and ordinances for ratification. I now entertain a motion to open public hearing. So moved by Mr. Roderick, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Melvin and Adams. Item 5, ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC and SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located on East 67th Street, Cutoff, Louisiana, 70345, assessment number 8102369090, with a minimum starting bid of $5,680.49, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Roderick. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at item 5? Second call, public input, ordinance at item 5. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 5? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Melvin and Adams. Item 6, ordinance declaring property as surplus belonging to Lafourche Parish government, authorizing the disposal of surplus property, authorizing the advertising of surplus items for sale, authorizing the acceptance of the highest qualified bidders, and any remaining items that are deemed to have no value will be properly discarded, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Ms. Shessoff of the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 6? Second call, public input on this ordinance. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council wants to discuss? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Councilman Melvin and Councilman Adams. I'll now entertain a motion to close public hearing. So moved by Mr. Roderick, second by Mr. Araby. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Melvin and Adams. Brings us to item N, proposed ordinances. Mr. Perk, will you please do the honors of reading proposed ordinances?
Yes, sir. Okay, proposed ordinance declaring property as surplus belonging to Lafourche Parish government, authorizing the disposal of surplus property, authorizing the,
Hold on, Mr. Perk.
There we go.
I think we got you now.
yep.
The mic wasn't on.
Aye.
about
Authorizing
that.
the acceptance of the highest qualified bidders, and any remaining items that are deemed to have no value will be properly discarded, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Councilperson Chasson for administration. 8, proposed ordinance providing for 2024 supplemental appropriation number 24-010 within the 2024 operations and maintenance budget and capital outlay budget, adjusting for year-end projections to be in compliance with state budget requirements, deobligate various projects, and cover shortfalls, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Councilman Otam for administration. Number 9, proposed ordinance approving the holding of an election in Fire Protection District Number 4 of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, on Saturday, March 29, 2025, to authorize the renewal of a special tax therein. Councilman Bo Melvin for administration.
He's not here, so I'll sponsor it.
That sponsored by Councilman Otam for administration. Proposed ordinance accepting the subdivision known as Field Chase Subdivision Phase B into the parish system. Councilman Otam for administration. And that's it.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. It brings us to item O, resolutions. Item 11, resolution approving agreement between the Parish of Lafourche and the Congregation of Our Lady of Prompt Succor Roman Catholic Church in Chagbay, Louisiana, for recreation purposes, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk will move on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Anyone from the council wants to discuss? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 12, resolution approving amendment number 1 to the agreement with Stat Waste Stream Services Incorporated for professional services relative to wastewater treatment at parish facilities, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any other relevant documents. Mr. Perk will move on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Anyone from the council wants to discuss item 12? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 13, resolution approving change order number 2 for the project titled Hurricane Ida Repairs, Renovations, Old Courthouse Roof Replacement, increasing the contract price by $4,510.16 and adding 17 additional days to the contract time, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Anyone from the council wants to discuss? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 14, resolution updating the list of projects under the Resilient Communities Infrastructure Program Recovery Proposal, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, I just want to know what exactly is this? Is this some kind of grant money or some kind of money coming in from somewhere? And there's actually 7 deals that could have got some of this funding, but 2 has been pulled or withdrawn. So what, is this grant money or?
Thank you, Mr. Lorraine. Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, yeah, it's community development block grant money that came to us after Hurricane Ida. The program, I had this conversation with Councilman Araby, I think, last week, because one of the projects is in his district. We're having trouble meeting the LMI requirements, the low to moderate income requirements for the grant program. What happened when they redid the census tracts in 2020, they stretched them a little bit more than they probably should have. So a lot of the LMI communities that we have historically been able to do projects in, we can't anymore because the census tracts are too big. So we're trying to work those issues out with the Office of Community Development. But yeah, it's all federal grant money from HUD.
But I see you got the hospital ready to see exactly what can they do with the funds.
So that's the project you all approved several months ago. That's for the new clinic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
the new clinic in
In
LaRose.
Yes, sir.
I see the president of the board right there, and he's smiling.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Yeah, so you got
So I
you got a
guess if
project
he's
down.
smiling, I'm gonna vote for it.
Yeah, you got a project down there for them. We're expanding the workforce center at Fletcher in Councilman Perk's district. There's a few other projects. We're doing some other work at one of the rec facilities in Councilman Arabi's districts. There's stuff everywhere.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
enough.
Appreciate it. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences, those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 15, resolution approving change order number 2 for the project titled Recreation District Number 5, Choctaw Park and Kramer Park Hurricane Ida replacements and repairs, increasing the contract price by $3,000 and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk will move on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences, those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 16, resolution approving change order number 3 for the project titled Recreation District Number 5, Choctaw Park and Kramer Park Hurricane Ida replacements and repairs, adding 14 additional days to the contract time and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences, those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 17, resolution approving change order number 1 for the project titled Golden Meadow Park Hurricane Ida repairs and replacements, increasing the contract price by $15,460.14 and adding 20 additional days to the contract time and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
Is this gonna be done before the end of the year on these 2 things? Because hopefully we can get them going for next year. And I tell you what, evidently they did a good job because I didn't say you did it. They did a good job because for the last hurricane that we had, it held up. So I got to give the contractor credit.
Yeah, so just for the record, the parish president and the administrator both nodded in the affirmative. This will be done by the end of the year. Any further discussion? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences, those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 18, resolution approving change order number 2 for the project titled Golden Meadow Park Hurricane Ida repairs and replacements, increasing the contract price by $6,481.08 and adding 25 additional days to the contract time and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? I don't see Mr. Lorraine hitting his light. There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences, those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 19, resolution approving change order number 5 for the project titled New Rodeo Arena and miscellaneous repairs to the Raceland Ag Facility, adding 38 additional days to the contract time and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Arabi for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? Mr. Arabi has some discussion. You have the floor, sir.
Just a comment, really. I just hope this is our last change order for this project, and that our cowboys are going to be roping pretty soon on that thing. Thank you.
Mr. President, you got some comments on that?
Yeah, just, I guess a comment for all of these in general. I know it looks weird. Some of this is unforeseen stuff. Some of this is stuff we've added on for either the roping club or the ag center based on the needs for either the kids or the roping club. But we do them individually for FEMA reimbursement processes, right? It would be so much easier if we could just, instead of having change order 1 and 2 for Golden Meadow, if we could have just done 1 change order, but we do them separately for FEMA purposes. But we're still on track to be done by the end of the year and have everything ready to go for the January 18th show for the kids. So we're running on a good time schedule right now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. If there's no further discussion, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences, those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 20, resolution accepting the low bid of Delcon LLC in the amount of $3,317,000 for the project titled Courthouse Annex Hurricane Ida Repair Renovations, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer an agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 21, resolution approving change order number 3 for the project titled Hurricane Ida Repairs, Courthouse Annex and Old Jail Roof, increasing the contract price by $28,103 and adding 81 days to the contract time, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 22, resolution approving task order number 1 with Principal Engineering Incorporated for the project titled Gaines Water Main Improvements, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said task order and any all relevant documents. Mr. Araby for the administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 23, resolution approving amendment number 4 to the consulting agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Gallagher Benefit Services Incorporated to provide consulting and brokerage services, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? Mr. Chesson, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to cover this one in the next probably 3 or 4 items, but I want to start out by thanking Buddy and Delilah and his team. These guys did an incredible job this year renewing all of the programs. We actually were anticipating somewhere between a 10 and 15% increase in overall health insurance, and they got us back down to a flat renewal at 0 with the same benefits. So saved us a whole heck of a lot of money, saved the employees a whole heck of a lot of money. And then you will notice on items 26 and 27, we changed our dental and vision providers. Found some local people who got some better deals for us, one of which is right here from the Central Lafourche area, Mr. Bo Mathern, so we appreciate him coming to the table and helping us out. So overall, richer benefits, lower cost, so I want to thank Buddy and his team for another job well done this year.
Thank you, Buddy, as well as Ms. Baudouin. Any further discussion? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 24, resolution approving and renewing the application agreement with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana for employee health coverage and COBRA benefits provided through WageWorks effective January 1st, 2025, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 25, resolution renewing an application agreement with Reliance Standard Life Insurance Company to provide supplemental insurance effective January 1st, 2025 for all full-time employees of Lafourche Parish Government, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said application agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 26, resolution approving agreement with Delta Dental to provide voluntary employee dental benefits effective January 1st, 2025 for all full-time employees of Lafourche Parish Government, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 27, resolution approving agreement with Community Eye Care to provide voluntary employee vision benefits effective January 1st, 2025 for full-time employees of Lafourche Parish Government, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Melvin and Adams. Item 28, resolution appointing one member to the Industrial Development Board of the Parish of Lafourche. Mr. Perk, on behalf of the administration, who do you have, Mr. Perk?
Blake Lee.
Mr. Lee, second by Mr. Rodrigue. Any discussion?
Did somebody step down?
Hold on. Go ahead, Mr. Lorraine.
Did somebody step down?
So, is someone resign? Mr. President?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, so Mr. Craig Roussel, who was representing Bollinger's on the
okay.
board, Mr. Roussel was recently appointed as the chairman of the Louisiana Tax Commission. So he got a little bit busy of a schedule. So I want to thank Mr. Roussel for his service. He did a great work for us. And in talking with Mr. Lee, who's an employee of GIS, because we tried to keep it in the manufacturing realm. Blake's one of their VPs for business development. I know he's going to do a great job. So we appreciate him stepping up.
I'm familiar with Mr. Craig. He was there way before your time, and I knew him very well, and he's a smart guy.
Very good. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 29, resolution appointing 2 members to Lafourche Parish Tourist Commission Board representing the Lafourche Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Perk, on behalf of the administration, who do you have, Mr. Perk?
Ms. Monique Crochet and Jeremy Punch.
Ms. Crochet and Ms. Punch, second by Mr. Rodrigue. Any discussion? Oh, 29, okay. So I have a motion and I have a second on the floor. Who was the second? Mr. Rodrigue. Okay, so now on this one, we have a motion and a second on the floor, but now I need to, I have an amendment from the floor by Mr. Perk, which reads as such, in the caption, changing appointing to reappointing throughout the ordinance, replacing with Monique Crochet and Jeremy Punch. In the therefore be it resolved, changing appoints to reappoints and deleting as it refers to the terms. Attached nomination letters, replacing the attached nomination letters of Cully Cresoni and Buffy Lynn Charpentier with Monique Crochet and Jeremy Punch as per the Tourist Commission and the Lafourche Chamber. So that is your amendment, Mr. Perk?
Yes.
Can I get a second to the amendment? Mr. Roderick seconds the amendment. So now, discussion on the amendment. Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
So Buffy resigned,
So we had gotten
or they just being replaced?
we had gotten an email on that. You want to comment, Mr. President?
Yeah.
You have the floor,
I
sir.
want to know because I didn't get my agenda in time, and I looked at it here, and I didn't have plenty of time to look at what I really wanted to look at.
So
But I just felt kind of, they're being replaced, so did they step down or they didn't step down?
So it was, they were, both Ms. Crochet and Mr. Punch were up to be renewed. I think there was a snafu at the chamber office, and we got 2 new names, and when they realized they had sent the wrong names, they sent us a different letter saying, we want to reappoint Ms. Crochet and Mr. Punch. So then, we had already sent it to Ms. Carlene by that time, so then we had to turn around and flip it. So nobody resigned, the chamber just, I think, messed up and sent the wrong names.
So my
Initially.
question, Buffy was serving? She
No.
never
No,
served?
she
No.
never served.
Because the only one we got on there is Kyle Williams.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody else.
No, so-
We really need some help.
So Ms. Charpentier and Mr. Cresoni were never serving.
Okay, and where they're from? I'm just asking.
Ms. Crochet is from Thibodeau and Mr. Punch is from South Lafourche.
Oh,
It's from
okay.
LaRose, yeah.
Kind
now
of
you
a
got
little
2.
soft.
Now you got 2.
Yeah, these are recommendations, you're right, and these are recommendations by outside sources that gives a recs, and there was a snafu with their recommendation, it wasn't on our side.
I was confused with
Yeah.
Buffy. I didn't really know what was going on, and I didn't have a chance to, I didn't get my packet.
And
On the clerk, it's on the postal service.
And look, let's hope that Cully and Buffy both hang around and that when there is an opening, because they're both very good people, so it's just, this was just a snafu on behalf of someone else. Any further discussion on the amendment? Everyone clear on the amendment? Everybody should have a copy? Okay, so we'll vote on the amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Now we're going to vote on the actual resolution, number 29, as amended. Any discussion on the resolution as amended? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 30, resolution appointing various coordinators, officers for the Community Development Block Grant programs offered through the Louisiana Office of Community Development and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Excuse me. Brings us to item 31. Resolution appointing one member to the Lafourche Parish Tourist Commission Board representing the Thibodeau Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Perk, on behalf of the administration, who do you have, Mr. Perk?
Mr. Walton Guidry.
Mr. Guidry, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 32, resolution reappointing one member to the Bayou Blue Fire Protection District of the parishes of Terrebonne and Lafourche Board. Mr. Roderick for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Roderick? Mr. Charles Beasley. Mr. Beasley, second by Mr. Brumfield. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 33, resolution reappointing one member on the Fire Protection District Number 9 Board. Mr. Araby for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Araby?
Reappointment, Mr. Harris Griffin.
Mr. Griffin, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absences. Those absences being Adams and Melvin. Item 34, resolution appointing one member on the Lafourche Parish Game and Fish Commission Board. Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Lorraine?
I just want to say that the Lafourche Parish Game and Fish Commission Board is not from my area. And the guy that applied is from my area, and he's a great guy. He's a sportsman, he's a hunter, he's into that. But I just think that somebody else should make the nomination, because I shouldn't go out of my district and nominate something that don't pertain to my area. Now, hopefully and nicely, the guy applied. Maybe nobody else applied. But when they emailed me on this, I did not respond.
Copy that. Someone else want to nominate?
Just get
You can
somebody
nominate?
else to do it, and
Mr.
I'll vote
Araby.
for it. I think he's a great guy, but I just don't think it's right the way it was handled.
Mr. Araby, you want to make that nomination? I'll make it. And that nomination is Mr. Adams, Dax Adams, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? I'll just make a comment that the fishing game was challenging with that board is, he's right, it's from the central Lafourche area. The problem is all the people that are affiliated and have lease agreements can't serve on that board. So the 100 and 200 people that are affiliated that have an interest can't serve on the board, unfortunately.
No, but the way I
That's a
felt,
challenge.
the library board last meeting,
Yeah,
I got
understand.
shafted, okay?
Understood.
And I'm not going to do that.
Understood.
It's just not my appointment.
So let the record reflect at 17:34 hours, Mr. Melvin has entered the chambers and now has changed my reading on approvals and disapprovals. Let me make an adjustment there. All right, thank you, Mr. Lorraine. Any further discussion? There be none. All in favor? So right now, Mr. Melvin, to bring you up to speed, we have a motion on the floor to appoint Mr. Adams to the Lafourche Parish Game and Fish Commission Board. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 35, resolution appointing one member on the Recreation District Number 11 Board. Mr. Roderick for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Roderick?
Quentin Champagne.
Mr. Champagne, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 36, resolution appointing one member to Lafourche Parish Tourist Commission Board. Mr. Perk for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Perk?
We've got 1 vacancy, 2 applicants. Mr. William McKee.
Mr. McKee, second by? Second by Mr. Roderick. Discussion. There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 37, resolution appointing one member to Lafourche Parish Tourist Commission Board. Mr. Araby for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Araby?
1 applicant, 1 vacancy, Darnell Durang.
Ms. Zarang, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Adams. Item 38, resolution approving agreement with Cote Blanche Productions Incorporated for the design of the project titled Hurricane Ida Repairs, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Visitor Center, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Araby for the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Discussion. There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 39, resolution rescinding resolution number 24-314 that accepted the low quote of Greenscapes of Louisiana Incorporated in the amount of $5,830 for contracted services related to nuisance abatement concerning the demolition of condemned structure located at 900 Bruley-Guillot Road, Thibodaux, Louisiana 70301, assessment number 0010194701, authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Discussion. There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Brings us to item P, Parish President, Department Heads, Directors, and Managers reports, presentations, and our updates. Item 40, Department of Public Works Representative to present a report.
I wasn't going to do it, Mr. Chairman, but since we got to wait 20 minutes, I might as well go through it, right?
We have time now.
Try to do as good as Dylan. All right, starting out as always in the Thibodaux field office, Abbey outfall, we swept. The gravel outfall, removed some trees. Thibodaux field office, settlement at Live Oak, removed vegetation from the culverts. Lede Drive, installed the driveway culvert. Moving over to Choctaw, Chackbean North Levee, swept Borough Canal. South Levee, we also swept that Borough Canal. Shirley Street, swept the roadside ditches. Ida Street outfall, removed the fallen tree from it. Dupree and Terre Haute Streets outfall, removed fallen trees from the outfall. 279 Chisholm Trail, installed the driveway culvert. Pretty proud of the guys using the new equipment and the transoms to make sure we set and grades right these days. By Blue Field Office, Lake Long Pump Station, installed the new pump. Racing Field Office, P. Thibodaux Road, swept outfall or roadside ditches. Logan Street outfall, swept the outfall. Yeah, right, like that one? About time. Racing Field Office, Wintergreen Street, swept some roadside ditches. Racing Field Office, Mississippi Street, cleaning culverts. Butch Hill Pump Reservoir, removed vegetation from the reservoir. Highway 652 at Lake Drive, removed grass from the culvert. Eagle Drive drainage ditch, swept. Io Street, swept some roadside ditches there as well. Over to Lockport Natural Gas Pump Station, replaced the discharge pipe. East 2nd Street, swept roadside ditches. East 2nd Street, removed collapsed driveway culverts. East 38th Street, replaced collapsed driveway culvert. East 39th, replaced driveway culvert and removed collapsed landscape culverts. West 59th, removed mud from a utility pole and roadside ditch. West 41st, clean culvert. East 87th, replaced collapsed driveway culverts. East 88th, swept some roadside ditches. And this was the work last month by the maintenance contractor. 201 Abbey Road, replaced cross culvert and concrete panels. South Henry Street, asphalt patching. Asphalt patching down 176th. I'm not even going there. West 11th, asphalt street patch. West 11th, repaired the top of that catch basin. Asphalt patch on East 23rd. Replaced the driveway on the concrete of the driveway after we had replaced the collapsed culvert a month or so ago. East 23rd Street, replaced asphalt driveway. West 20th Street, replaced concrete driveway. Same thing on East 43rd. We replaced multiple ones on there after a little project. I'm sorry, West 113th and then West 59th, same thing, replaced driveway and concrete in a driveway. West 54th, concrete driveway. Pertwee Lane was a concrete driveway. Gaines Community Center, repaired those tops of those catch basins that were starting to fail. And this was a bigger one. It was an entire rehab of the Zeller pump station in Councilman Adams' district. You'll see the new piles, new sills, new discharge pipe, well, old discharge pipe, but now that the station's being rebuilt, we replaced it through the levee. And then Public Works for the month of October, 0 permanent servitudes, 2 major subdivisions inspected, and 1 major subdivision reviewed, 5 property redivisions, 19 culvert permits, and 2 fence permits, 405 work order requests received, 81 permits were reviewed for compliance, 12 jobs completed by the maintenance contractor. We have 26 projects in the design phase, 6 under construction, 1 out for bid, and we got 1 out the door last month. So with that, will I answer any questions, Mr. Chairman?
Well, that brings us, thank you for that, Mr. President. That brings us to item Q, questions for the administration. Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor first, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the, I've been working on a outfall canal and a small ditch from the west 210 coming to 3235 and then across to the 40s. And I don't know if there's a right of way there or not, but Edison Pete Jr., check on that and see, they got the numbers. I gave DPW the phone numbers and all to see with them if there's, I remember getting the right of way with this grandpa, but that was a long time ago. Was it done right or was it done wrong? I don't know. But I remember Mr. Robert. He's deceased now. And it was done right because it was in my area. But anyway, check on that if you don't mind, because I got to get something going with that guy. I mean, I went to that site 2 or 3 times by myself. I went to the site with Babin, Mr. Babin, a couple of times, and it's just not moving. And so check on that. My next one is, okay, right away is, on August the 29th, we opened the bids for the Galliana complex. When are they going to start?
Mr. President?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So they have started. They're in the interior moving some stuff around, getting supplies
So
moved
they
in.
started?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. The next one is we passed a resolution at the meeting. They had an agreement with the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Waterworks. It failed. Came back later. We didn't pass anything. Was there a letter of no objection given?
Yes, sir.
There was?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
You
Lorraine.
answered my question.
Next in line is Mr. Melvin. You have the floor, sir.
Thanks, sir. Mr. President, I have a question. I know on Thoroughbred Drive, for years, whenever the storm came, or we involved with the hurricane, there's a lift gate, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And I want to suggest that we definitely shut it in during storms, because if the water at the Nichols Farm crosses over Thoroughbred, which is what some of the residents on the front part are concerned about, that means everybody's going to have a huge, more of a compounded problem. In the past, and I'm not saying this administration, but in the past, we always shut it in because that water from the Nichols Farm pours into from the pasture and then is included in the neighborhood drain. So before the storm, I requested it be shut and then was told it was only shut halfway, and rightly so. Some of the residents came really close to taking water in their homes, whereas if we shut it off, it keeps the water in the pasture and the pasture can flood, not the home. So I would personally request that from now on that we shut in that valve totally. Don't leave it halfway like it was, because it wasn't fully closed. And so anyway, that's just my request. If we can
Thank you,
do that,
Mr.
because it's
Melvin.
really going to help. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin. Mr. Araby, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Chasson,
Mr. Araby.
can you give me an update? Because of course the contractor said there was no update. It's up to the administration now on the Butch Hill pump station, sir.
Yep. So I made a comment a couple of meetings ago, and Dylan's holding me to it, that we'd go out to bid before the end of the year. I'm sticking pretty by that. We're pretty close. We got a lot of capital outlay funding that Christie's been working on. Really just waiting on a commitment from CPRA to make up the few $1 million that we're missing, so we can, quote unquote, have the money in hand to be able to go out to bid. And I'm hopeful to complete that mission before Thanksgiving. So I'm sticking firm that I'm thinking we're going to bid before the end of the year.
That's great news, thank you. Other question I got is Bayou Road and his Albans. That project there that we started, now we can't do it, or y'all still working on some other stuff.
Yep.
I'm getting several calls about the water that's on the road. I went out there, and it's really hurting our road base for sure. We're going to end up either losing the road too while we're waiting on the project.
Yep.
So is there anything we can do temporary there? I had a couple of concerned citizens saying they think it's the valve that's leaking.
Okay.
I don't know if we ever serviced those valves or done anything since those valves been put in. But, we have somebody maybe check that, see if they are leaking and keeping water there, because you can pass there anytime, any day, and they got water on that road.
Okay. I'll have Troy go look at it in the morning.
If we get something taken care of, I even thought about maybe putting a little, just a suggestion, a little electrical pump where the valve holds at where the catch basin's at, and just put a meter on the buy side and pump the road, pump it out, if that would help, because, like I said, I'm getting quite a few calls, and people are very concerned. They can't even keep their cars clean, and more concerned about the road base, because we'll be looking to repair that road pretty soon.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Harreby. I just have a comment, and that being, I just want to thank Sam in Solid Waste, because he continues to really perform outstanding and look, he's in a tough position, with being the liaison between, our waste contractor and our residents. And I can tell you, when I called him with several in the last few weeks, and he's on top of it. So I just want to thank Sam publicly. He's been doing an outstanding job. With that said, brings us to item or open discussion. Mr. Perk, you have the floor first, sir.
Yes, first of all, I want to piggyback on Ms. Carlene's comments at the beginning of the meeting. I want to thank Charles Rodrigue for stepping in, filling in that district. He's done a good job, and I've had the fortunate opportunity to sit down with him on a couple occasions just to gain his knowledge on construction, engineering, and all of that. So for me, he's been a good asset. So we're going to miss you, man. But we appreciate you being here. Thank you. So, secondly, I just I held a little town hall meeting last night for certain residents of District 3, and we're going to do a couple of them over the next couple of months just to address some issues. But I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that I want to thank our administration. Archie was there, Mitch was there, James was there, Troy was there, passionately writing stuff down as people were, voicing their issues, should I say. And, what's amazing is I spoke to Archie this morning, and Troy was already boots on the ground, running all of these sites and seeing what we can do. So I'm very appreciative of that. I also want to, give kudos to the DA, Miss Christine Russell. She attended. The assessor, Miss Wendy Thibodeau, attended. And State Representative Brian Fontenot, who's really, that's not part of his district, but he attended as well, drove in from Baton Rouge after a long day in the legislature and then was heading back. So anyway, I just wanted to thank everybody for the support and the partnership. So hopefully we'll, like I said, the meeting was the easy part. Now we've got to put the plans to action and put the action into play. So thank you, Al.
Mr. Chesson, do you have some discussion?
Yeah, just a couple of things, Mr. Chairman. Councilman Arena kind of already stole my thunder about the Galliana complex, but that work is underway. Still hopeful that, summer of next year, pretty close to being done, especially for our Hit Starts kiddos that can start to go back there. Mitch is saying the end of next year, but Drake, I want it done before the summer, buddy, right? The Matthews complex, Eric did a walkthrough today. There's another one tomorrow with the full host of contractors, and I think Troy and the group from ELOS who's doing the project management stuff for us. So they're going to start working in here in the next, hopefully, few days and weeks as we complete the interior projects here. You guys all walk through the construction zone in the front. The DOTD project that's been on the books for about 7 or 8 years has finally started to revamp the parking lot in the front. You guys approved the bid tonight for the courthouse annex, which is what Judge Abel was here about a meeting or two ago. So April-ish, we should have that building completely done, and then we'll be moving back in here. A huge thank you to our district attorney, our clerk, the judges. We may be having some court proceedings in here over the course of the next few months as we work in the annex in the courthouse. But we've made them aware, working with Ms. Carlene about the council meetings, that they got to be out on those 2 Tuesdays a month. And they're really good at that. So, Mr. Rodriguez, well, thanks. I don't know if you're going to be here for the next few meetings, but if you're not, we thank you for your service. It was a pleasure to work with you as well. And congratulations to Mr. Terry, and welcome aboard. Just try not to be like Daniel, and we'll get along just fine.
Thank you, Mr. President. So just a couple of comments. I want to recognize our parish high school bands. They have been performing outstandingly. All of our public high schools have been doing phenomenally at some competitions around the state. I also want to congratulate Ralph and Mal Sapi, who have been appointed or elected as the Grand Marshal for the Lockport Christmas Parade, to be held on December 7th. Night before December 6th, there will be a huge community function at the Lockport Community Center as usual. With that said, I'd also like to thank Mr. Roderick. I think we made one heck of an appointment when we chose you. I've been up here for, I guess, quite a few years, a couple of terms, and I can tell you, you've been one of the finer gentlemen to work with. So I think you represent your people exceptionally well. With that said, I'll now entertain a motion to deviate to item H in the agenda. So moved by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Roderick. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, and one absence, and that absence being Councilman Adams. And I'd now like to entertain a motion for an 8-minute break. So moved by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Roderick. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. We will resume at exactly 1800 hours.
Child nursing students, if y'all need your papers signed, this would be a good time to come up.
I'm sorry, was I supposed to read that instead? I was supposed to bring that up before? No.
That's all right. Right here, baby, 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 is where you're going. No. Mr. Chairman,
Second by Councilman Rodrigue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item H, 2024 millage public hearing and public meeting at 6 p.m. I'm now entertaining a motion to open the public hearing and public meeting for the 2024 millage. So moved by Mr. Roderick, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 2, discussion to levy not rolling forward 2024 millage rate for the following. Fire District Number 7. Open discussion. Anyone got any discussion on this? Discussion? Okay, there being none, I'll now entertain a motion to close the public hearing and public meeting for the 2024 millage. So moved by Mr. Roderick, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item I, public hearing and public meeting and ordinances for ratification. A voice roll call vote must be taken on each ordinance. On the final signed copy of each ordinance, each council member's name shall be noted as to which way he voted next to yeas, nays, abstain, or absent. I'm now entertaining a motion to open the public hearing and public meeting. So moved by Mr. Roderick, second by Mr. Araby. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 3, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2024 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche Fire Protection District Number 7. Mr. Melvin for the administration, second by Mr. Rodrigue. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 3? Second call, public input for the ordinance at number 3. Last and final call. Would anyone from the public like to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council wants to discuss? Okay, there being none, we'll bring it to a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield is yea. Mr. Adams can be marked as absent. Mr. Melvin. Yay. Mr. Melvin is a yea. Mr. Otan is a yea. Mr. Perk. Yay. Yay. Mr. Rodrigue is a yea. Mr. Araby is a yea. Ms. Chesson is a yea. Mr. Lorraine is a yea. Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence, and once again, that absence being Mr. Adams. You good, Ms. Carleen?
yes, sir.
Okay, I'll now entertain a motion to close the public hearing and public meeting. So moved by Mr. Roderick, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item J, first budget public hearing. I'll now entertain a motion to open the budget public hearing. So moved by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Roderick. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 4, public hearing for public comments on the proposed 2025 operations and capital budgets for the Lafourche Parish Council. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the proposed operations and capital budget? Second call for public input. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on the 2025 operations and capital budget? There being none, I'll now entertain a motion to close budget public hearing. So moved by Mr. Roderick, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item K, review of the 2025 operations and maintenance budget and the capital budget for the Lafourche Parish Council as follows. This will be the fund number and then the fund name. Item 1, 101, animal shelter. Item 2, 102, building maintenance. Item 3, 103, roads and bridges. Item 4, 104, drainage maintenance. Item 5 is 105, streetlights. Item 6 is 107, solid waste. Item 7 is 108, royalty fund. Item 8 is 109, Board of Health. Item 9 is 110, Recreation. Item 10 is 118, Planning Commission. Item 11 is 119, the Library. Item 12 is 123, Civil Defense. Item 13 is 126, Commission on Women. Item 14 is 127, the Senior Citizens Activity Fund. Item 15 is 128, the 2004 Rededication Fund. Item 16 is 129, Health Activity Fund. Item 17 is 201, the Road Sales Tax District 2 and Construction. Item 18 is 206, Road Sales Tax Districts 3, 5, and 6 Construction. Item 19 is 209, Construction Fund, Gomesa Bond. Item 20 is 210, 2021 Revenue Bond, District 2. 21 is 211, 2021 Revenue Bond, District A. Item 22 is 212, Hurricane Ida Recovery Project, Revenue Bonds. Item 23 is 213, LCDA Revenue Bond, Ida. Item 24 is 299, Capital Projects. Item 25 is 302, the Sinking Fund, Building and Road Sales Tax Districts 3, 5, and 6. Item 26 is 314, the Sinking Fund, Road Sales Tax Districts 3, 5, and 6, 2005 road bonds. Item 27 is 317, Sinking Fund, Road Sales Tax District A. Item 28 is 318, Sinking Fund, Road Sales Tax District 2, 2008 bonds. Item 29 is 319, Reserve 2-12, Road Bond District A. Item 30 is 320, Gomesa 2019 Debt Service. Item 31 is 322, RSTD 2, 2021 Sinking Fund. Item 32 is 323, LCSTD A 2021 Sinking Fund. Item 33 is 324, LCDA Hurricane Ida Recovery Project. Item 34 is 325, LCDA Hurricane Ida Recovery 2022A. Item 35 is 326, Road Sales District. Item 36 is 501, Marydale Sewage District. Item 37 is 502, Bracado Sewage District. Item 38 is 503, Duga Sewage District. Item 39 is 504, Rita Sewage District. Item 40 is 505, Morristown Sewage District. Item 41 is 506, Sewer District 2. And with that said, item L, questions, discussion regarding the 2025 budget. There,
I just got one.
Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
Why was the, according to what I saw now, could be wrong, why was the Commission for Women, the 10,000 was left out?
Mr. Chesson, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, because I like to make you make an amendment to put it in there.
See what?
I like to make you make the amendment to put it in there.
Oh, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. That way you can take credit for it.
No, usually we put it in. We didn't get to have our little meeting, and that's usually my number one issue, because it benefits, you don't hear me say this much, the whole parish.
Thank you, Ms. Lorraine. Any further discussion? If there's none, I now have a motion on the floor by Mr. Rodrigue to deviate to item S. Second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Brings us to item S, adjournment. On a motion by Mr. Rodrigue, second by Ms. Chesson. And with no further business, the Lafourche Parish Council regular meeting of November 12, 2024 will be adjourned at 18:09 hours. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Thank you all.